That's basically it. Look at the graph. Tell me if you can apply Rolle's mean value theorem or Rolle's theorem. And then using an equation over a specific interval. Can you determine using Rolle's theorem or mean value theorem? So you have to know basically what they say. So Rolle's theorem is 0 to 0 gives you a tangent somewhere that's a 0. Mean value theorem is 2 endpoints. There's going to be a tangent somewhere between those 2 endpoints that's the same as the tangent. 3-2, the first derivative in curve sketching. And 3-3 is the second derivative and curve sketching. So know how to use the first derivative test, know how to use the second derivative test, and be able to justify to me using either the first derivative test or the second derivative test where we have minimums or maximums, where our inflection points, be able to graph a function. Like, for instance, the big graph you did in class as a group. I just say, here's an equation of a function, graph it for me, using first derivative test, second derivative test, or whatever I tell you to use. Find the inflection points. It'll be more specific than that, because it's too hard to grade if it's not more specific than that. So, for instance, there will be a question that says, can you use the second derivative test to determine if this function is concave up on a specific interval? If you can, do so. So first you have to decide if it's usable, and then you have to do so if it is usable. And here's a hint. If it's a 5-point question, probably it's not usable. If it's a 15-point question, it's probably usable. Nobody ever looks at that stuff. I mean, the number of points of a question does give you some idea of what the expectations are, how much work I expect it to be. Of course, I'm really bad at that, as we learned on the last exam. So there'll be some very specific questions about first derivative tests, some very specific questions about second derivative test. The graphing, I'll probably give you the first derivative and the second derivative so that you won't make mistakes in doing that part. And it'll be easier then to just say, yeah, you can apply the knowledge you have. Section 3.4 is optimization. That's on the take-home. Section 3.5 is related rates. That's on the take-home. And section 3.6 is L'Hopital's rule. So L'Hopital's rule on the exam, there will probably be 2 basic use L'Hopital's rule. You know, just ones that you just plug in. You don't have to do any manipulating to the formula other than see it's 0 over 0 or infinity over infinity and then use it. Maybe first, second, 49th, now, make you do 49th derivative.